So hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to yet another different kind of video. So today we're gonna take a look at what are the best Pokemon games ranked in order from S, A, B, C, D. S obviously being the best, D obviously being the worst. Now obviously I'm going to put the generation related games together, not talking about Ruby Sapphire and then Fire and Leaf Green, but Fire Red and Leaf Green are going to be together for sure, because there's barely any difference. But there might be some difference between, let's say, Diamond or Pearl and Platinum. So we'll see how that's going to work out. So for now, I think we're going to start off with what I consider to be, or should we start off with the worst? I think we start off with the worst. So let's see, which one would I say are definitely in the rock bottom? Now I'm gonna say, honestly, oh, that's tough, because like if I'm going off my own opinion, right, then I would put Sun and Moon at the dead bottom. But I think this stage deserves to be of the Pokemon games that are just mechanically pretty weak. And then I'm going with probably Red and Blue. So I'm gonna put, where's Red? I'm gonna put Red in D, I'm gonna put Blue in D, and I'm gonna put Yellow also in D. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. I kinda wanna put Gold and Silver in D as well for the same exact reason of them mechanically being very weak. But since they are technically better, I'm gonna put Gold and Silver up in C rank. Or Silver? So yeah, I'm gonna put Gold and Silver up in C rank. I feel like they deserve to be a rank higher than the original Gen 1 games, because they are mechanically a lot better. And of course the games are a lot longer. I think Gold and Silver generally is better than Red and Blue. But hey, maybe it's just me. Crystal is going to be in the same rank. That's right. So I think that's those out of the way. So now we can actually focus on some of the harder ones. Man, this is rough. Okay, so C rank, I'm going to put in Ruby and Sapphire. So I'm gonna put Ruby and Sapphire, both of them in C rank. Why? Because I'm not a huge fan of Ruby and Sapphire, I'm not gonna lie. I think I mentioned this once before in one of my Let's Play videos, but I'm not a big fan of Ruby and Sapphire. I'm just not. I don't think the games are really all that great. Like, it's hard making this list, because why is it so hard, you may ask? Well, the thing is that a lot of these games are mechanically worse than others, but I like them more than others. Like, what do you rank more highly, right? That's kind of like the point I'm at. Because I'm like, I don't like Gold and Silver to be very high up there. Mainly because it's mechanically a lot worse than Ruby and Sapphire. But I would, let's say, put Heart Gold and Soul Silver way up there. Way above Ruby and Sapphire. Because whenever you get to Gen 3, it's like, mechanically doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? It's like, which is more fun, because the mechanics are overall pretty much defined already. Except for, like, the concept of, what is it, like, typings being a specific either attack or physical attack or special attack. That's the only thing, really. I'm going to put Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee in C rank as well. Now let me explain why I'm thinking that. I think it's because of how fucking different it is. I don't like it. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't mind it, but it's not like anywhere close to being on the same level as some of the other Pokemon games. At least that's what I think. I don't think the remake was good enough. At least to me, it wasn't. And I put like Fire Red and Leaf Green probably really highly. I'm thinking of putting it in A tier probably, but maybe even S tier. Maybe even S tier, because I love those games. But Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee just didn't do a good enough job for me to put it highly. I think we're out of C tier right now, correct? Because I don't really want to put anything else in there. Emerald. Ooh, Emerald is a rough one. Crap. Ooh, that's hard. Jesus. Because I'm kind of like thinking Emerald was a lot better than Ruby and Sapphire. Actually, was it? Nah, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I'm going to put it next to... Well, that's Pokemon Y. Hold up. There. Let's put it over. In between. There you go. So I think it's C tier done. D tier is going to be Gen 1. Hopefully, don't get mad at me for that. I'm just doing that because it's mechanically a lot worse. That's also the reason why I'm putting Gold, Silver, and Crystal in C tier. But Fire and Leaf Green and Heart Gold, Soul Silver will be my like legitimate ranking on those games. Guys, so B tier, I'm gonna start this off with the easiest to put in B tier because I think they fit there, and that's Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. So why I'm putting them there is because they're mechanically fantastic games. I love these games whenever it comes to its mechanics. Competitive, probably the most advanced, even though I don't like some of the changes they did. I still really like these games, and I think in that manner. But if we're talking about the game as a whole, it's probably one of the worst ones in the entire series, and that's just my opinion, I guess, because I know there are a lot of people out there who love Sun and Moon, love Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon, granted, should not have existed. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that in the comments, but I think you guys will agree on that. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon should not have existed. There was no point in those games existing entirely, so I'm gonna put them there. I'm gonna put them in B tier, and I don't give a shit. B tier is still not bad. It's still not bad, because I think mechanically is the only reason why I would put it in B tier. Because if we're talking about mechanics only, or if we're talking about just the games in general, I can't put red, blue, and yellow in like S tier. I can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Because they are just so much worse in like defining the Pokemon formula. So I can't put them up there. Definitely not. B tier as well. I'm going to put Black and White. So hear me out on this one. Going to be an unpopular opinion. I think Black and White is worse than Black and White 2, which you might also see in the ranking in a second. So I think the pacing in Black and White is a lot worse than it is in Black and White 2. You can quote me on that, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but that's legitimately what I think. I think the pacing in Black and White 2 was done really well, and there's always something interesting happening. Whereas in Black and White, I find that it gets to a point, definitely at around like the 5th gym, I would say, where it becomes monotonous. It really does. It becomes really monotonous. And the first time I started playing this game, I stopped playing at like around gym 6 in Black and White. For good reason. Because I didn't enjoy it. But now after like replaying a lot of the games, I'm older now, I'm replaying a lot of the games, I think Black and White are still solid games. But I'm still going to put them lower than Black and White 2. Now, what is going to be else in B tier? Oh yeah, X and Y. That's not because I think they're bad, but I feel like if I put them in A tier, that's a little bit too high. But I really like X and Y. Probably the main reason why I got back into Pokemon. Mechanically, absolutely solid games. Like, competitively, fucking phenomenal. Why is there Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Oh, they are. Oh, okay. Well, that's my fault. Okay, I'm gonna put those here as well, because they're practically the same as X and Y whenever it comes mechanically, except for adding a couple more Megas and stuff like that, but it's still Ruby and Sapphire, which are not my favorite games. I'm just gonna straight up say that, but I feel like they do deserve to be a tier higher than original Ruby and Sapphire. For sure. But yeah, X and Y, definitely. I still consider those games very highly on my list of, like, favorite games. Favorite Pokemon games. Mainly the reason because it got me back into Pokemon. So I'm a little biased. That's true. Sorry about that. But yeah. So A tier. Here comes the juicy part. So I was thinking about that. Oh yeah, Black and White I put in B tier. So I'm gonna put Black and White 2 in A tier for sure. Low A tier. Because I still think that the other games are better. But yeah. Definitely Black and White 2 is gonna be A tier. I consider those games really highly on my list. I definitely do. But yeah, I mean, Black and White 2, the pacing is just phenomenal. Some of the added changes they did in this game is probably one of the best out of all of the sequel games. which there are only 2 of technically, right? Well, unless you want to count like the emeralds for Ruby and Sapphire, which I kind of consider it as. Platinum didn't do a whole lot of changes, so I consider that pretty even to Diamond and Pearl, but like Black and White 2 did so many cool changes to it, like starting you off in a different area of the map. I think it's really cool. I think it's really dope. And adding some like story changes to make it worth buying. Compare that to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it's just not comparable. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they just added a couple of extra events, removed a couple of other things, and that was it. There's barely any change done. Just an easy cash grab out of Pokemon fans. That's all Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was. I'm still not gonna put it in D tier because I think it's better than Sun and Moon, even just a little better. So I can't put them lower, but for effort, I would put them in like E tier. But it's just me. So I think I'm gonna put one more series in A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Probably the first time I really got introduced into Pokemon, I want to say the first time was Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's true, the first time was definitely Fire Red and Leaf Green. But I was a dumb kid back then. I didn't know how Pokemon worked, so I just played all the way up to Misty, couldn't beat her, and that was it. That was all I played for Fire Red at the time, and then I got back into Pokemon with Pokemon Pearl. No, actually Pokemon Diamond. And I remember my first starter being a Turtwig, and I fucking love Turtwig. But yeah, Diamond and Pearl, definitely some of my like childhood favorite Pokemon games. Still, I remember trading a lot with friends, stuff like that, and that's why I consider it still very highly. I think it's still a very solid game. Either way, great music, a really cool region with a lot of variety in it. I love it. Love the gym leaders as well. So, and Platinum is the better one. The better version, just is, but barely added any changes, so I can't really put it too much higher than regular Diamond and Pearl. So yeah, I think the only one that actually accomplishes that is Black and White 2 for Black and White. It's the only one I would actually consider a place higher. So let's go to the final tier, the S tier. So it's all remakes. So I'm gonna put Fire and Leaf Green up here. Just fucking phenomenal. I don't know, man. Like Fire and Leaf Green, after playing it again, after so many years, right? Like even after I didn't understand back in the day when I first played Fire and Leaf Green, I fucking love these games. They're just perfect to me. They are perfect Pokemon games, and I still point my finger towards this game being like, you should learn from this game more. You've done it right before, so like, why not go in that direction again? It's like you don't have to make it the same graphics, whatever. Like you have all these options with graphics, and then you try something completely different with Sun and Moon, and it fucked up. That's what I think. They completely fucked it up. But Fire and Leaf Green is just the solid Pokemon games that you want. This is what you want out of a Pokemon game. That's what it is in Fire and Leaf Green. And I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver do it justice. Because they did the exact same thing. They are like, okay, well, Gold and Silver were really well received games, so why should we change the concept of it at all? Let's just fucking create a remake. Make it better graphics and make it look better. It's just, these games are, in my opinion, perfect Pokemon games. They just are. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't try to do anything different, but they try to improve upon the original formula by adding the added changes from Pokemon games to make it better. Like, of course, Fire and Leaf Green, I would say that Heart Gold, Soul Silver are my, like, top 2, well, first Pokemon games. Top 1 favorite Pokemon games, for sure. Mainly because Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out in Gen 4. Which means the changes of, like, typing not be locked to either special attack or regular attack. That's the only reason I put Heart Gold, Soul Silver higher than Fire and Leaf Green. If Fire and Leaf Green was also Gen 4, I would put it higher. I just would. But it's because of the mechanic, like, difference in between them that I put Heart Gold, Soul Silver higher. But these games, like, just as a game, as a Pokemon game, they're perfect to me. They just are. So yeah, I don't know. I think this is my list. For sure. If I had more tiers, as in, like, if I had an E and an F tier, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I would change, like, Let's Go Pikachu to D tier, and I would put, like, red, blue, and yellow to E tier. Might do something like that, but I think it's fine for now. So yeah. I was kind of hoping there to be the other Pokemon games on there as well, like the spin-off games. I was kind of hoping for that, but it's fine this way. It's the main series Pokemon games. We might do one for like the spin-offs at some point. That would be cool. So yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I sure did. This was a lot of fun to do and talk about. So yeah, if you have your own list, please share down below. I would like to know. It'd be pretty cool to just have some conversation in the comment section down below talking about this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like rating down below. Also, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And yeah, see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, dudes.